You're listening to Until They Sleep, a podcast where two parents finally get to sit down and discuss all the different things that run through their heads every day because their four kids are finally asleep. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back to Until They Sleep. I am Daniel, and I'm joined by my lovely wife.
Shantelle.
Say hi to the people.
Hi, people.
There we go, because you're usually the one that goes off. Hi.
Yeah, I don't know.
And tell us what you think about our baby doing the intro. We didn't talk about it last time.
So our 4-year-old did the intro for the last episode, and it was cute.
I love her little voice.
I know, but I felt like she speaks better than that.
Yeah.
And she was using all in baby mode when she was recording.
Yeah, she was being silly.
Yeah, she was being super silly. But I was just like, use your big girl voice. Like, why is she using her baby voice? So it comes, I thought it came across as she sounds much younger than she is.
It's still cute. 4 years.
She's
4 years
4.
is 4 years.
But she's almost 5. She'll be 5 soon.
Yeah, like soon, like in 4 more months.
Yeah, that's pretty soon.
Nah,
I mean, time flies. You know, time flies.
Nah. So yeah, I really liked it. So I thought it was cute just to hear that little baby voice, and like you said, time flies, and actually, we're like, oh, I forgot that's what she sounded like. So I'll be able to go back and listen to that anytime.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, well, let's get to it. We've been a little crazy lately. Let's start how we used to. Fill me in. What have I missed this week?
Well, let's say so. Our eldest, the 23-year-old who was on the last episode, she left Wednesday, and that was actually the 20-year-old's birthday.
Yeah.
So we sent gifts with her to give to her sister since we haven't seen her in a few. And other than that, I've just not really been able to work my regular schedule this week just because a lot of random things have come up. And Friday, I was at the school waiting to see if our kids got into the prep school, and they did.
That's right. They have like a draft,
like a lottery. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a lottery draft.
Yes, so they all got into the prep school, so they'll all be at the same school now, which will be yay for me as far as drop-off and pickups are concerned. They'll all be in one place. But I think I've decided to homeschool the kindergartner. Yeah,
and I know we kind of like quickly touched on it, but we were you. Well, thank you for including me on the thought process of that decision, and you made a good point. So, do you want to talk about it, or you want me to explain what you told me?
Well, so there's kind of a lot of points to why we're choosing the schedule.
No.
The cost.
No. Oh my goodness! I usually forget what you want.
The time. Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, so yeah, I guess I'm going to touch on it.
Because there was a lot of things that were on my con list.
No. So, how she convinced me into it and how she brought it up to me was more of this is the 4th one, and she noticed as a mom how much they changed on how soon they started school. And the attitudes and, kind of behavior-wise.
That's true.
So that was like, that's a good point because I kind of noticed it too, but I wasn't 100% sure on it. Like I just kind of thought about it, but I wasn't going to that conclusion until you pointed it out even more. So I was like, okay, I kind of thought about it. She makes a valid point. We've noticed with our oldest, he went to daycare and he does stuff, and then he started school, and he's like a year, ahead of everyone. Mm-hmm. And the effect that he's had with like socializing and attitude-wise, and development, learning, kind of.
It wasn't beneficial.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't beneficial. Maybe it was the school that he started into.
Yeah, maybe.
Even though we had to pay for it. Mm-hmm. We were paying for him.
He was ahead, like, in that aspect, but when he went to public school...
Yeah, but that was the year they started Common Core, and technically he should have had to retake kindergarten.
Yeah.
But either way...
And then with our second one, he was kind of more emotional, kind of... he had a great kindergarten experience.
He did. He luckily had a great kindergarten experience. And yes, he also, which they all do, right? I think it's just normal for children to change once they have that peer experience, children that are not within their household or within family members. And so he definitely changed, not necessarily for the better. And our 6-year-old, she was in kindergarten last year, and same thing. I don't feel that she benefited from kindergarten.
No. I mean,
especially
the experiences of being with other kids.
Well, her kindergarten experience was crappy, though, because it was the first year back from COVID and the COVID shutdowns, and she went through like 2 or 3 teachers. Yeah. So it was a crappy kindergarten experience. And since I don't know what's going to happen this year, for me, there was a lot of factors as to deciding this. And it was a super hard decision for me because I still don't know what's best. I mean, do we as parents ever actually know what's best? Is the decision we're making with our kids going to mess them up? Or is it going to really give them the best opportunity in life? So it's 50-50. I know parents who homeschool their kids and their kids are fine. And I know parents whose all their kids have gone to school, a normal school, and their kids are fine. So it really comes down to parental decision, and hopefully you're in a good school district and you don't have to worry about stuff. But our experience has been that we've seen a change in our kids, not necessarily in a positive way, and life is just a lot more scarier these days. On top of all that is the fact that she would have to get out at 1 something in the afternoon, and I would have to go get her and then wait 2 hours for the others. And now I'm losing work time. So like my own personal work time, I'd be losing waiting for the kids to get out. Then if we wanted her to stay after school, there'd be after school cost.
Yeah, daycare kind of prices.
And so it was a lot of different factors. It's not just, yes, the whole attitude changing is one of the factors, but for me there was also my time driving around, sitting, wasting time for 2 hours for the other kids to get out of school, and then if I chose not to do that, the monetary aspect of it, because we would have to pay for after school care. So that's why I've decided to homeschool. And there's an academy, a school that I had wanted the kids to get into a long time ago, and it never happened, and they offer a homeschool program through that school. So we're going to do that, or I'm going to do that. And hopefully I don't mess her up for it.
Oh, we'll see.
We'll see. This is I told my 14-year-old, I said, hey, buddy, what do you think about me homeschooling your little sister? Like, do you think she should go to school with you? Because she did get into the school, but he says, Mom, you should homeschool her and see if she turns out better than us. Yeah. And that was coming from him. So.
And she likes school and she's been looking forward to it, but just because of meeting other kids and playing with other kids. But
she just wants to socialize.
Yeah, she's a social butterfly.
But all our kids think they're social butterflies until they actually get to school. And then
they're all different. They're all weird,
I guess because we have the weird kids. Is that what it is?
We have the weird.
Because I know our 10-year-old, we'll start with the 14-year-old. He was a super social butterfly. He loved making friends, but he got bullied a lot. Because he just he was a people pleaser. Yeah. And then our 10-year-old, he's also a people pleaser.
He's a weirdo.
But... No, I'm talking about kindergarten.
But he's still a weirdo. Like, he's... Because he had the big brother, so he's used to, like, kind of, poking him and messing with him.
Well, he's also the second child.
Yeah. So he kind of does that at school, too, And then he likes making up stories, and he has a great imagination, and he likes to share that with people. And sometimes people look at it like, oh, that's weird. Like, where does he come from with that idea?
Yeah, I don't know that that's necessarily 100% the factor.
I mean, from what he tells me, his conversations with his friends at school, with the stuff that he tells them, and then why they act all weird and they push him away, and then they kind of don't talk to him. I was like, what was the last time you guys talked about? And he's like, oh, I told him this story and I told him this, and I was like, oh yeah, you scared him, like not everybody. Like the fact that he knows what Beetlejuice is, and he tells the kids at school, it's like, hey, Beetlejuice and this, and they're like, no, my parents would never let me see that. But yet his exposure is more like, people think the movie, but we were doing like the cartoon, right? Yeah. We showed them the cartoons because it's something that we liked as kids. It's something that you loved, and you had those cartoons. So he got to watch that. Our kids got to watch that. So they're like, oh, yeah, have you guys seen Beetlejuice this? And some of the kids, are like, no. And then they ask the parents and like, oh, yeah, probably don't talk to that kid. He's a weirdo.
Well, I mean, maybe he's mentioned stories like that to me too, but primarily it's been more of, the kids that are vulgar and
Yeah.
they got other stuff going on that he doesn't get. Like, to him, all those kids are weird. So anyways, and then our 6-year-old, her kindergarten experience, like I said, was kind of crap. And she loves people. Like, she loves making friends. But she's super rough and tumble. And I don't know that there's a bunch of little girls that are rough and tumble because she's got 2 big brothers. So I think sometimes she struggles making friends.
And I think that's her thing, she's a little princess.
Mm-hmm. She's a princess. She's a warrior princess.
yeah, there you go. That's the best way to describe it. So, yeah, she's very feminine, very girlish. But at the same time, she's not afraid to scrap.
She's not afraid to scrap. She will knock your block off if she has to.
Yeah, like she's rough because she's got 2 big brothers who she plays with, and
she's constantly defending herself against.
Yeah. So at school, I'm pretty sure, and it's kind of like you like to tell that story in jiu-jitsu, like when she went to try it out.
Oh yes.
All the little girls were getting upset because they couldn't knock her down. She's heavy
solid.
duty. Yeah, she's the Amazonian. It's just she's strong. She's a trunk.
She's solid. You don't see her necessarily as she's going to be heavy, but you try to pick her up. She's solid. Since she was a baby, she's just solid.
Yeah.
She's heavy.
So I mean, all kids are different, right?
Yeah.
And you put them all in a classroom, and they're all kind of trying to read each other or see each other in different attitudes and different ways of bringing up and different, they're all different, and then they're trying to cope and understand each other, and sometimes they make friends, and sometimes it's awkward, and they don't, and so yeah, I guess they did change, because I think that's when she kind of started like rebelling a little at home and ignoring, and
not just that, but she's also, whenever I try to ask her, hey, what did you learn today? She's like, nothing, and she thinks it's a joke.
Maybe she's like her dad.
Maybe she's like
she just like retains the information, but it's hard for her to explain it.
Yeah, maybe she was like, I'll tell you one thing I learned today. I'll be some random. Something super random.
Oh, but was it like a lesson, or is it like a story or something?
It'll be maybe a story or something that happened on the playground. Nothing necessarily that happened in class, unless it was something that entertained her or caught her attention. Usually, if it's something to do with science or their performing arts teacher, she's all about telling me stories about those things.
I learned today. I mean, I kind of had an idea, but I didn't know it was that much. And I'm going to give the credit to my son's teacher, our 14-year-old. He was going down this whole history path today, and he's just.
Oh, we're having dinner.
Yeah, I love listening to him talk about it.
He talks with it with such passion, right?
Yeah, I thought he was talking about a movie for a second there.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh yeah, this and that. I was like, he was giving us the whole Rome.
He was talking to us about Hannibal and Caesar.
Yeah.
Julius Caesar and the creation of Rome and Antony, and he was giving us everything.
It was good. It was good to hear that. It was like,
I'm glad he's retaining the information.
Yeah, so I give credit to the teacher on that one, because he must be making it really fun and enjoyable in a way that catches his attention, and he's retaining it. Mm-hmm. So that's cool.
And that's why this prep school is like a big deal, right? Because it seems like everybody wants their kids at this prep school. Well, okay, the people I know don't want their kids at this prep school because, preparatory schools have they have like that snobbish, aristocratic stigma about them. But first of all, it's a public public school, and it's free.
And they're not that popular anymore. I mean, you don't hear a lot about prep schools, right? Yeah. So, automatically the stigma is that when you hear prep school,
you think
uppity, you guys are paying too much for that or whatever.
And it's not. It's free.
Yeah.
It's free to the public.
Oh, it's not really free. We pay taxes.
We pay taxes. But, I mean, it's not like we have to pay a tuition for the kids to attend to the school. And
there's a lot of fundraisers and stuff like that raises money for the school.
It is. Too, so. They are still part of the general school district, but because they're mostly private,
Right.
They don't have to follow the same curriculum as the rest of the school district.
And they're a little bit more strict too, right? Because,
they're much, yes.
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
if your behavior is bad, your grades are bad, then they're like, okay, you don't want to
They
be
get
part
detentions and they have all this stuff. So,
which is something that the schools don't do anymore because they're afraid of their damn quotas and having that money that they get every year.
Or parent retaliation.
So they keep the horrible students there longer, which are handicapping the ones that actually want to be there, right?
Yeah.
So in the prep school, as far as I know, it seems that they don't play by that.
Every parent I've met who has kids going to this school, all their kids go to this school, or their kids are on the wait list to get into the school. So luckily our kids got in.
Well, how long was our oldest on the wait list? Because
he was only on the wait list for a year. I think we thought about it every year. So he was just on the wait list every year. Mm-hmm. It was the academy that has the homeschool program. That school has like a years of wait.
Okay.
That's the one. So there's another school in the area that's an academy. And that one also is free to the public, but it is a wait list. Also has that preppy stigma. But yeah, for sure. On that one, our kids were on the wait list for years for that one. But for the homeschool track, which they call the red track, there's almost no wait because it's homeschool based. So our kindergartner got in right away. And actually our kids got into that school before for the red track.
The red track.
Yeah, they got in for the red track. Stuff, during the pandemic, we had the option, but I didn't. I kept them at the charter school that they were all at that time. Anyways, it's going to be a experience because we've never officially homeschooled any of the kids. And I'm just doing it for kindergarten.
I mean, you kind of have always homeschooled them a little bit because think about it. When they're on break, you always have packages for them that you want them to do. Yeah, that's true. With all of them, all four of them, when they were littles, and there was times like you had the time, you would sit there and you teach them numbers or the alphabet, or you give them a little bit of math or science.
Which I think is
a lot of arts and crafts. Stuff. Yeah, little normal stuff. But they were exposed to it because then when they were actually going to school, they were like, "Oh, Mom, guess what we did today? It was that thing that we did. Remember when we were?" Yeah. And they're like, "Yeah, okay." So was it easy for you? Oh, like, yeah, I took lead.
Yeah.
I started showing everybody like, "Oh yeah, my mom and me did it like this and like that," and I was like, "Okay, so that's beneficial, right?"
Yeah.
So then, I know that with our 6-year-old. Mm-hmm. I know that with her, you did teach her a lot, but when she was in the start school, they were like, she needs to know this, this, and this, and this. Mm-hmm. And you were like, oh, I'm a little bit behind. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to rush it this summer so that she doesn't have a hard time when they go. And it was because, like I said, the pandemic. So she was in the start after the pandemic.
She started... The first half, I guess, a lot of the parents complained that whoever the teacher was the first semester didn't teach enough. So a lot of the kids were behind coming into the second semester. And then the second semester, they had a substitute for a few weeks. And then they got their second semester teacher who had a lot of catching up to do because so many kids, and I only found out about that because I attended a couple of events at the school. So some of the moms were like, "Oh, my kid is so far behind," and so I felt like, "Oh, okay, it's not just my kid, it's the other kids too," and they're all blaming that first semester teacher who left. So for whatever reason, so it didn't matter. My issue with our kids is that they retain math beautifully. If it has to do with math, they're on it. If it has to do with words and letters and phonetics, they will not retain that darn information, which is extremely frustrating for someone who loves to read.
So I think I've said this before, but I take full blame on that one.
I know you don't like it.
It's not that I don't like it. It's just that...
It's not your strength.
It's just that it's... Well, I mean, my first language was Spanish.
But do you even like to read in Spanish?
You know what? I start reading and I really forget what I just read. So sometimes I started kind of making myself read it out loud. Mm-hmm. And then I usually, when I read something, I end up reading it like 3 times. Just like that. But I haven't read in Spanish in a long time. If something I see maybe that's in Spanish, I'll read it. Mm-hmm. But like I said, Spanish was my first language, and then I started learning English. And I had the same problem in the beginning. I tried to translate it to make sense, and I learned fast that that was the stupidest idea ever, because it was so complicated.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the words are different, the grammar is different. You know, so I stay away from that, and I think math to me is the easiest language in the world. Like, it's a universal language. You know, it doesn't matter where you write it. You put an equation on the board, and it doesn't matter what language you speak or you read or write. Like, you know how to solve it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a universal language right there. Math it is a language of its own. Some people get it, some people don't. I enjoyed it.
I struggled with math growing up.
I enjoyed it. I was horrible when I first started. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say I was good always. But then it's just one day something clicked and it just made sense. And then...
That's our 14-year-old. Like, just one day everything clicked for him. I just remember he was struggling, like, through elementary.
Right.
He hit junior high, and I don't know if it was the teachers or if it was just him. It just all clicked one day.
Yeah,
and he stopped asking me for help.
No, definitely. Some teachers need the credit because some teachers teach you things. They explain it in a different way. You know, everybody does a math problems. They could be up to 3 to 4 different ways, and it's just you explain that, and you know, one might not work for you, and the second might not work, and the third one, you know, maybe a combination of a couple of them, and then you're like, oh, that makes sense. Now I know why. You know, so I think that's kind of like what happened to me. I'll never forget this. I remember being in high school one day, and I was just doing my own thing, and the teacher was upset because he's like, "I can hear your voice. Like, can you stop? Do you not appreciate this lesson?" I was like, "I'll tell you what. Why don't you get up here and give the lesson?" And the whole time, you know, I was a clown, and I was not great grades, but I went up there and I was like, "All right, so what are you guys having problems with?" And, you know, I was like, "Well, I got put on the spot." Yeah, I knew what he was talking about. I already know how to do it. To me, you know, my attention wasn't there. So I started giving him the lesson, but the way that I did it. Mm-hmm. And a good chunk of the class understood now what was going on. Like, oh, okay. I was like, see, it's like everybody does it different. Mm-hmm. You just got to find your way. It's like a job, right? Mm-hmm. You have a way that you do your stuff, your input, you're reading your numbers, you're doing your math, and I might do it different. So, yeah, it's good that the kids know that, I guess.
Yeah, no. The kids
especially because they like science. So, in science, you use a lot of math.
They like science and math, and they just don't like words. Which,
I mean, in life in general, you use math everywhere.
You use words everywhere to speak, to read, to write, to type, to text. I mean, even there's a bunch of shortcuts these days, but.
What was that joke? We're going back to hieroglyphics?
Hieroglyphics, yeah. Or shorthand. Everyone's going to have to learn shorthand.
Yeah, shorthand. I'm looking forward to the cursive days again.
Oh, man, cursive. Our kids do learn cursive. I think we've touched on this before. But anyways, so point being that...
the kids are good at math and they're not that great at
and that they'll
grammar.
all be in one school except for our kindergartner who will be homeschooled.
For a year.
And the other big factor was the vaccines, right? Because we are behind on her vaccinations. We're not anti-vaxxers, except for two particular vaccines. But, you know, she's behind on several vaccines. And
yeah, it's not that we're anti-vaxxers. It's just that we don't believe a little body should be pumped up with all those vaccines at once. So we like to space them out.
Especially so young.
Yeah,
like, there's
and because there's been a lot of
it.
cases where, you know, it's a roll of a dice thing where, you know, giving your kids so many vaccines at once ends up giving them disabilities later on in life.
Some kids have negative reactions to it and end up...
And you can't pinpoint what was the one that gave them the reaction.
Because you give them so many. Yeah. Exactly. And the doctors don't even know the effects, right? So... They know whatever the pharmaceutical studies are.
For the doctor, or, you know, our oldest shouldn't, you know, be alive because remember that time,
our 10-year-old.
Yeah, but even with him one time, and then it was kind of dual, but that you're talking about the Santa Claus doctor, right?
Oh yeah, the Santa Claus doctor. That was with our eldest.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about, where it turned into a big old fight about the polio vaccine.
Yes.
Yeah,
we wanted to space out the vaccines, and this wasn't our normal doctor.
No.
But he is a different we called him the Santa Claus doctor. He was basically yelling at us that we were going to kill our kid if we didn't give him this darn polio vaccine.
That day, at that moment, after getting those other 3 or 4 other ones that they were giving.
Because we were going to space them out and make that decision to space them out. We were going to kill our kid. And it was because he saw his friends die. And I'm like, well, and we're new parents, right? This is like our baby. We're new parents. And this doctor's yelling at us about this stuff. And we're like, we'll deal with our regular doctor on this. Because our regular doctor, he didn't care that we spaced him out. But this one day we happened
he was actually even like, okay, we'll give him about 90 days or, let's do 30 days and we'll come back for one. And then another 30 days, we can do another one. Or, we'll give you this pack and then, 60, 90 days come back and we'll go in the other one. And by the time that, he's through, he's caught up, he's good until it's time for him to go to school. He was awesome.
He was awesome. But again, our experience was that with that older doctor...
Yeah. I thought you and him were like about to go down that day.
That was a bad day. I mean, it would have been really bad for him. Maybe worse for me in the end. But we walked away and just told him that our doctor we'd talk to our doctor about it.
I was quiet. I remember you guys started going at it, and I was just putting his little clothes back on, like crickets, like awkward.
And then with our 10-year-old, he got double vaccinated, and I feel horrible as a mother now that I understand all this. Because we were living south of the border when he was born. So he got vaccinated in Mexico for all his required vaccinations because we were down there for 3 years. And
was it down there?
Yeah, he got all his vaccinations. We were down there. And he had his doctor down there. So he got all his required vaccinations down south of the border. But when it came time for him to start school in the States, when we moved back, they required me to revaccinate him because they would not accept the Mexican vaccinations. And at the time, my mommy radar was like, guys, this doesn't feel right. But I was a full-time working mom. You were a full-time working dad. Our oldest was already in school. And now his little brother was going to start school. And I just felt this pressure to get him vaccinated so he could attend school in the States. And now with time, I feel a lot of guilt.
Mm. No, it's you shouldn't. I know we always think like, what if that caused that? But I don't think so because maybe because I got double vaccinated too.
Maybe. I just know that it wasn't right.
So I can blame my temper and my attitude and everything.
No. I'm talking about other things. Vaccinated. He's got other issues, and I blame...
You blame everybody for everything.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I just wonder. I know.
Nah, I think you're wrong. But, I mean, you can go with it. But, yeah, I don't think so.
Anyways, I didn't know. Now I know. So our daughters, they've all been spaced out, and that's how it's going to be. But because I don't want to rush to vaccinate our kindergartner.
But you were saying that they were still asking for vaccinations, even if she's
even if she's homeschooled. Actually, it's true. I know. And that's just because she's going through an actual school and not through one of those online programs. They're requiring vaccinations because they do still allow her to come on campus for... and attend field trips with the school, and she'd still be allowed to attend workshops at the school, and that's why they're requiring for her to be vaccinated. So I guess if I really wanted to homeschool her and not worry about the vaccinations, I would do something else. But I have not had or made the time to research all that, so we're going to go with
But I thought
this.
you already had that info too, because when we were talking about buying the RVs and everything, you looked at the schools.
I looked at a whole bunch of different schools, but I never made those. The school I would love for them to be homeschooled with is super expensive. So that's why that went out the window.
Getting comfortable here, sorry.
Yeah. So now it's going to make a bunch of noise though.
No, it's not. I've done it like this before. It's a little farther though.
Anyways, so point being, I'm not vaccinated. I'm homeschooling her.
But crazy, right? We're talking about school, and the school year's not even over yet.
I know.
So,
well, it's because this is when they're starting to get ready for who's going to be attending the school in the coming fall. So school's about to be out.
You know what I find crazy? Is that school's almost over, like right on this coming month, right?
Yeah, our our elementary kids, they're done with school the 25th of May. And our high schooler is out June 7th.
Okay, see, that's more normal. I remember when I went to school, we got out around June.
Yeah, well, me too. But our high schooler's out June 7th. Our 10-year-old and our 6-year-old, they'll be out on May 25th, which is super early, I think. But
extremely, yeah.
Yeah, they're out before Memorial Day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it. All right.
Yeah. And the rest of this month is field trips and parties and some allegedly preparation for the next grade, but I don't know how much of that's actually going to happen. So.
All right. Well, so all that is going on already in the planning and looking into and learning about. So, man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I was just tripping out on the whole you need vaccinations to go to school. To go to school, but you're being homeschooled. So in order to be in this homeschool program, you still need vaccinations. It's like, that just to me, that just doesn't make sense. Because I get the vaccinations as kind of like you're being exposed to other kids at school, or you're going to be in contact with other kids, so they need them. But
who knows? I might change my mind over the summer and just find something online that I'm going to do. But as of right now,
yeah,
I'm going to go with
no, I mean, it's fine. She's still getting the vaccines, but you're just not trying to rush them.
I'm just not rushing them is all it is. And they've already told me which ones she has to have before the beginning of the school year. And then the rest she can get after. Yeah. So.
Yeah, you told her she was going to get vaccinated. She's been acting all.
At first she was all for it because she wanted to go to school. And now when I told her, okay, let's go to the doctor so you can get one of your shots, now she doesn't want to go. And
yeah, it's scary, right?
Yeah, and it is scary. You know, those things hurt. You don't even like needles. You hate needles, period.
I hate them.
So, like, even blood work, when I have to take them to get blood work done, I had blood work done on her over a year ago. It was the worst experience for me because she's so skinny. And they had such a hard time finding her little veins because she's so thin. Just to hear her scream, "It's so good you were not there." I felt horrible because they wanted to test her for lead.
So on the whole you were saying about needles, I hated needles.
I know you hate
I
needles.
had horrible experiences. But right now it reminded me of the last time I had blood work. I've gone a couple of times.
Oh yeah.
I had like a little health scare a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. And I had this lady draw blood, and I didn't feel a thing.
Yeah,
she was so good. Remember. I was like, "Oh my goodness, I'm gonna look for her more often." But this last time I went, oh man, this chick was like a chola, and she must have just gotten in a fight with her guy, because she was a total bitch.
That's how I felt about my last one too.
And she was like, and I was like, "Oh," and I give her a look, and she's like, "Stand still," and she's like moving it around, and I was like, damn. Then she was done. I was like, "There, done." And I was like, "You need to go back to school." I was like, that was horrible.
You told her
that?
Yeah.
I was like,
you said that?
Yeah.
Like, what'd she do?
Yeah. And then she just looked at me and she mumbled something, probably cursed me out.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, well, whatever.
That
your
was
problem
actually
is.
my last experience too. That was the same way. It was, I don't know, the lady was in a bad mood and it just was not a good experience.
No, man.
I don't know. Phlebotomists, just because you're having a bad day does not mean you need to take it out on your patients. Like, it's not your arm that's getting jabbed. Like, I think some of them are sadomasochists and they like to see their patients squirm.
Well, in your podcast, right? Don't you hear a lot of nurses that are like,
oh, yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why they're always using in movies and TV shows.
It's true. There are nurses who have done some horrible things to people. This is true. This is true. Yeah.
They're not all saints.
No. But there's so many people. And the thing is, like, I think right now with a lot of the healthcare workers, there's so many who are being forced to be there because they're not the original nurses. Because of the whole pandemic thing and all those nurses and that wouldn't get vaccinated. So They all lost their jobs. So then these are all people with no experience that are actually doing these jobs or with little experience who are doing these jobs because the people who were there before I either quit or
well,
or
it's
were
kind of
fired.
like even at work, right? Like before, we had a lot of guys with experience doing the jobs and everything, and now, a lot of them retired or
Oh yeah,
decided to come back.
my work too.
And now we're kind of like, oh man, like you feel it everywhere.
Yeah, and there's no
everywhere.
retention either. Like people don't want to stay.
Yeah.
Like they work for a little while and then they're over it.
No.
At least that's my experience.
No, at
in
work,
the field,
yeah.
in the field I work in.
Yeah, even in my work, like we're looking for people. They keep on mentioning it for like over a year now.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
I actually saw ads online or on the radio or something like that. I saw ads for my work. I was surprised. I'd never seen my work run an ad for employees before.
Wow. Yeah. Crazy.
That's pretty bad. So, but anyways.
Maybe it's all the people that are leaving California too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it has a lot to do with it. I mean, it's something we always talk about, but we haven't done. I don't know that we ever actually will. The kids are grown and gone. Maybe we'll finally go.
You think?
I don't know. I said, if you find a job out of state, we'll go. I can do my job from anywhere, so it's all good.
Well, there's school, and there's the shots, and then there's all that crap. Anything else going on?
No.
It felt like a crazy week. I really felt like I didn't get to talk to you or see you that much this week.
Other than continued car issues,
Yeah, right.
I don't want to talk about those anymore.
So yeah, like we were talking, we had our 23-year-old over. She talked about her. We had the other one, had the birthday, we had the school stuff. I actually had to hang out with some of my friends
You
from
did.
work.
You did.
We had a nerd boys night out, I guess, or nerding out. Or
I don't know what we're calling it yet.
Yeah. So out of it, it was just my buddy that got me into the whole painting these little action figures, and excuse me, his best friend. Mm-hmm. I guess they were always together. They were always getting together. They met through work also, and so I was kind of like the third wheel in. Like it's like, hey, cruise over to my house and let's just get together. So we did. I did. And we hung out, and I thought it would be cool, and so I took the gear over, and they wanted to record. They really wanted to record, so we started recording just for the hell of it, just for the fun of it. Just kind of guys being us, being ourselves, a little bit, and joking and trash talking, and the quality's not that great. We were in a garage, and one of my friends is really tall, and he was kind of far away from his mic, but I've been talking about putting it out. I enjoyed it. I laugh. I re-listened to it.
Well, we can do it as a bonus episode.
Yeah.
And do you want to split it up? Because it's like 2 hours. It's over 2 hours.
I don't think I'd rather just put it all out there.
I just feel like it should be a 2-parter. Nah. It's like 2.5 hours.
So that's fine.
3 guys talking about
nothing.
Stuff.
Yeah. Everything and nothing at once.
I already went through it once, and like edit wise, I mean, you didn't really want me to edit anything, so it's, just a little bit of edits here and there, name mentions and drops that I needed to take out, but that's about it. Other than that, you really wanted to leave most of the raw content.
Some of it, yeah. Well, and I'm pretty sure the wives want to hear their husbands too. The other 2 wives are like, oh, I wonder what they said. I wonder what they do.
Yeah, that's why I feel like maybe I need to edit some more to not get them in trouble.
If anybody needs to edit, I think it's going to be one of my buddies talking about his brother. Getting him in trouble before his wedding.
Yeah.
Nah, but that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, what happened? What do you always tell me? What happened before doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's different.
It's different, huh? Different.
No, but yeah. Out of that, yeah, you came up with a good thing, and you're like, what? Out of that, it made me. You said something that kind of got my attention, and I guess we can try to touch on it pretty quick here. You were like, I don't understand the competitiveness that you have sometimes.
Yeah.
Or that you guys have sometimes.
Yeah, it's true. I don't understand competition. Like, I wasn't raised in, and I think we touched on this a little bit in one of our previous
about
sessions.
Friendships and
how competition can be good to like establish a friendship.
Yeah.
So I get it in that sense where when you have competition, like in sports, and I guess in other things, you can create camaraderie with people because you share that same interest that you are competitive about. But like day in and day out, I don't understand. I don't understand the need to live in competition with everyone and everything. I mean, maybe just with yourself to make yourself better. But
well, I've right now when you put it like that, it's making me think about some people that I work with that are always. It always feels like they're being competitive with me, and I think in a way is because some people might have the. Look at me. I'm better than him. Look at me. I can do this faster than him. Or, I can do this, I can do more than him or whatever. There's people that are competitive like that.
Jealousy, though.
And that's, yeah. And so some people say, oh, he's just being competitive. It's like, no, he's being jealous.
Yeah.
Like or he's just trying to.
Monte Cristo.
Yeah, he's trying to throw somebody under the bus. He's trying to get somebody in trouble. I like competitiveness in the way of like, okay, you and me, we're gonna do this, and we'll see who does it better.
Yeah,
right?
That's something we tell the kids, right? We do.
We were talking with my friend, and he paints great. Like I was really like, wow, like this is pretty damn good, dude. I'm amazed by it. And so I was like, well, I was like that competitive was like, I saw how it made him get all cocky about it. Like, yeah, I'm better than you on this one, and that's cool. Because it's something mutual that we're doing, and we have that respect for one another, right? So we laugh. It's kind of like in sports. I guess that's where it comes from, right? Like being competitive in sports, you practice. You're trying to perfect this craft that you're doing, and somebody else is doing the same thing. Then you meet up, and whoever practiced the hardest or did the hardest or executed better, they win. You were talking about it because of the fact that we have our stupid fantasy football league, and I won, and the trash talking.
You won in all your leagues.
Yeah, and champ. Oh wait, no, to retract the last champ. 3 champs.
Yes,
so
you won in all your leagues, and you're walking around the house with your belts and talking about trophies and rings and all this stuff, and I'm just like, I don't get it.
I'm a handicap now. I can't go out there, but it was the same thing on sports. When I was able to play, like it was.
We'll have to post a picture of you with your belts.
Yeah, it's just walk around all cocky, like I won.
I don't know. I don't understand that competition because I was never in competition with anybody. I did music recitals. I played the piano, but I never felt like it was a competition. It's just to display how much you know. You know what I mean? It's not the same.
Isn't that a competition though? Like, isn't there don't they pick somebody who played it best or something?
I don't remember.
Best in show.
I don't remember it being like that. It was just to showcase what we had learned.
That's just loser mentality, right there.
It's not loser mentality. I just don't remember that it was ever an actual competition. It's just to showcase what we had learned.
You didn't win.
There was no competition.
'Cause you didn't win.
Maybe. I don't remember there being.
I mean, if I would have won, I would have said the same thing.
I mean, in junior high, I won the Director's Award for music composition. Granted, I don't think there was anybody else competing because I didn't know anybody else who.
I just spent my freaking coffee.
It was, I did. They created this Director's Award for me, and
I'm so sorry.
I mean, that's winning because I got something nobody else had ever gotten. So I thought that was awesome.
No, yeah, for sure it is.
I was composing.
Take away from it.
I was composing music in junior high. My music teacher thought it was awesome, so she created this Director's Award that she gave to me. So I was the only person who had ever received that award because it was new. So that was not really competition, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't competing against anybody else. I didn't even know it was going to be a thing. So I wrote music for myself, and I just asked my music teacher or our choir teacher, actually. I asked her to just kind of help me fine tune it. And I've lost all that music. I have no idea where it is. So it's all gone. All gone. Just like my monsters I used to draw. They're all gone.
Okay.
I don't understand competition.
Obviously. You're talking about stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with being competitive.
But that's like the extent of me winning anything. Like, I've never competed.
You won me, baby.
I didn't have
I'm
to
a
win you.
trophy.
You were like ready to jump on.
I'm a trophy. I just pretended like it was, but yeah, I'm a trophy. It's a joke, everybody. I'm the one that got lucky.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, got me a sugar mama.
Sugar mama.
I don't know, just
I'm the one home with the kids mostly.
no, but I did win. I mean, you helped me and you drive me, and I always because of you. Yeah,
Do
I
I
try
drive
harder.
you? Do you try harder?
Oh well, if you don't see it that way, that's pretty sad.
Still waiting for some things.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you don't appreciate me? That's fine.
You don't appreciate.
Someone else will.
That's what you always tell me. You always
My
tell
kids
me.
always do.
You always tell me somebody else will appreciate me more.
Yeah, my daughters. All
As long as you don't shave. Oh yeah, I did we talk about this with our
No.
23-year-old that I cut the girl's hair and my husband went and shaved his beard in revenge because he had.
I talked about it with the guys on the recording with the
yeah,
guys.
I heard what you said. And I was like, you never said any of that to me. That was never mentioned. That you never made it seem like that was any of the reason why.
Yeah,
you were
that
mad
was the
about it.
reason.
But you never said anything to me.
I shouldn't have to. It's our third and fourth kid. You should know by now.
I had cut their hair before, and you didn't make that big of an issue of
I don't ever recall you cutting the baby's hair.
The 6-year-old, no, okay, the 4-year-old, I never cut her hair before. But the 6-year-old, remember?
But I was there.
She cut her hair.
That one time, yeah, but I was
And
still
then I
here.
had to fix it.
But I was here.
And I cut her ends.
But I was here.
So you weren't here for me to cut her bangs.
It wasn't her.
And
it was
you-
it was her first set of bangs, but it's not her. It was the baby too.
The baby, I cut like 2 inches off the end of her hair.
You know, when again, you won't understand. So
I don't understand. I don't understand. He got really mad. He was really
I am mad
that
about it. No, I'm not. I
cut-
didn't get mad about it. I'm still
he was
mad about
that
it.
I cut her hair 2 inches because she thought she was gonna pee or poop on her hair because her hair is like past her butt.
Nah. No. Well, out of that now, I don't care if I miss anything else anymore.
Which I think is extreme.
Yeah, but that's how it works.
That's a sad and extreme
Okay.
direction to go in.
Shouldn't-
But anyway, so
shouldn't
he
have done
got
it.
home and shaved his beard off.
I had to deal with the girls.
And the girls had not wanted him to do that. So they're, I explained to them, oh no, Dad did it because he's vengeful and that's just the way he is. So.
But I still have a beard and a mustache.
Yeah, but
I didn't
anytime
completely take
you
it off.
cut it, anytime you trim it, they freak out, right?
I mean, a little. They think I'm taking it off, but it's just a little touch. And so it's not like the end of the world. It's just like a little touch up.
Your competitive nature, I think it's all part of it.
What was that? I couldn't hear
Your
you. Too far from the mic.
Your competitive nature is all part of it. I think there was another point with competition that I had wanted to make, but I don't remember now. When I had originally thought about it, that's gone. I don't know.
Was it a bad thing? Was it something that...
I thought it was something funny. At least maybe it was just funny in my head. I don't remember now.
I think I'm just at a point in my age where the competitive is with little things, not other stuff. Like you were talking about, like jealousy. I'm not trying to be like I want to be a better father, but I'm not trying to be like, I want to be a better father than that person.
Yeah.
We all have different situations, different lives.
I think that comes with age too, right? Because we're older now. It's not our first rodeo. You know what I mean? So I feel like jealousy is dumb. Like you should be grateful for what you have and what you've worked hard for. Right? So if other people always feel like they have to one-up you because they're insecure in their life, you know what I mean? It's stupid. And most of those people are younger than us anyways.
Sometimes.
Most of them
sometimes.
are younger than us.
Sometimes.
So.
I still think it's something about me that just really irks people.
I don't know. I don't know enough people, I think, to worry about it.
Oh, I don't.
No, I mean,
worry
like,
about it.
you're
I'm just
surrounded
pointing
by
it out.
people, like, at work and stuff like that. Like, a bunch of men who are always like, oh, yeah, look what I bought. Or, oh, yeah, look, I got this type of bonus and I got myself this. Like, that's always what they're talking about, is what they're...
Yeah, and it's funny because the ones that are like that is exactly what you said. Those are the younger ones. You know.
Well, some of the older ones, too, but like, oh, I finally... But they're more like, I finally got this, or I finally gave in and bought that for myself, or whatever. So, I think you've told me a couple times.
I can't recall right now. I'm trying to think. I was like most of the people that are
like
like
trailer. Or, it was a while back, a long time ago.
I can't remember that, to be honest. You got me on that one.
And then you got like those managers that show up in new cars every time.
Oh, that usually always happens. Yeah.
The managers with the new car after every bonus.
Yeah. No, it's funny.
So, but is that competition or is that jealousy? It's just, oh, I'm going to show you, oh, I got the money. I'm just show off.
I think that's what that one is. They just want to show off there. It's kind of one of those conflicts, right? Like the I didn't have this growing up, so I want to have this and I want to show it off.
You mean like
because
your
I'm
collection
being more
of
successful?
toys?
Yeah, exactly. So for me, I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I didn't get to be a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to, enjoy being a child.
Yeah.
I didn't get the toys. So I'm a grown up. I can buy my own damn toys now.
It seems like there's so many of you out there.
Yeah, I know, right? Is it something?
I think
we're going into another subject that could be a whole new episode right there. The whole collection thing.
like being a collector. Why people collect.
And you know what? For me, it wasn't being a collector. For me, it was more like I couldn't have that as a kid, so it just took me back for that moment, like to have it. Because I remember in the beginning, I bought a couple of action figures, and I ended up giving it to our oldest boy because he was the only one we had. But I was like I touched it, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Oh, that's awesome. Here you go, buddy. Like, enjoy, Or like, oh, what toy do you want? And I will buy it for him, and when he'll put it down.
To this day, what do you mean when he was little?
No, he doesn't ask for
day.
anything anymore. And I felt bad the other day. I was picking up some stuff, and I saw like the last couple of things that I bought the boys that, characters that they like, and just to see how they've been taken care of, and they're just like thrown in this box that's forgotten outside.
Well, that's a box from when we moved that we haven't gone through.
No, they've gone through it, but it makes me feel a little bit better that at least our baby wants to grab some of them and play with them. So they're...
Well, in her house, all are
Toy
welcome.
Story ruined it, okay? It's just Toy Story ruined it. I don't want to see Buzz and Woody all abandoned in a box.
Well, no, our 14-year-old, he has his Woody. His, like, the one that used to have the pull string. That guy has been ripped. He's lost his hat I don't know how many times. And he will not get rid of him. And it is because of Toy Story. So
I love seeing that Woody, that?
Yeah.
It's not because of that. It's because of who bought it for him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my stepmom bought that.
Yeah.
For his birthday. We went to Disneyland. She gave me all this money, and she told me, I was like, buy him a Woody. And I was like, because she knew he liked Woody. And so we were like, yeah, okay, Ma. He's like, promise me. I was like, no, I'll make sure he gets it. And he got it, and he's been in love with it. And yeah, to this day, he's got to get still in his room.
Yeah. So. He's mad that Andy it gave him away.
Yeah, he gets pissed off.
So mad. He's like, why would he give him away to that little girl?
I get mad on the next movie. That's when I don't. Was it 4? That's when I don't care to watch it. I was like, nah. Like, she made a big deal about him at the end of that movie, and now she treats him like crap and ignores him. Like, forget about it.
Yeah.
That's the funny stuff.
No, he always gets mad. Where our 10-year-old, he's not really into his... I mean, he loves his toys.
Wait, now you're talking about competitiveness and toys? My nephew.
Yeah. The one you say is your brother?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's super competitive with you.
Yeah. He's like, oh, you like Wolverine? And he started buying, like, toys. And I'm the bigger Superman, and I'm going to prove it because I'm going to buy more Superman toys than he has, right? And also, I was like, damn, this guy's got a lot of Superman toys. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, he's being competitive. Oh, you see this? Yeah, you see? But then I noticed when I kind of, like, blew it off, like, whatever, he's like, okay, I'm not going to buy any Wolverines. And I'm like, yes, it worked.
If he hears this, he's going to be like, I I know now.
Him be supportive of my podcast. I'm surprised he hasn't started his own podcast.
Yeah.
I want to say it that way.
Doesn't have time.
Yeah.
He doesn't have time for his family. He doesn't have time for
He's always
a
working.
podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's funny. So yeah, him and me have always have, I guess, a little competition.
But it's a jealous competition.
For him, I guess. Yeah. For me, it was more like him and me together when we were kids and we played sports. We were like the dynamic duo. You know, like we're gonna show up and we're gonna beat up everybody. Was it basketball? Was it soccer? Or baseball? Whatever it was on the, wherever we went, that was our thing. So we were competitive with others. But yeah. Well, there you go, baby. Something about being competitive. It's just some of us have them. Some of us need it. It drives us. It makes us want to do things. It makes us want to be better. And some people just want to show off, I guess. So that makes it competitive. Like I did it better or I have more than you. I know my older brother was competitive like that. Like you said, I have a boat, I have a trailer, I have this, and And then there's the ones that, I drive this car, I drive that car, and my wife drives this car.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we've got a couple of friends like
my
that.
Competitiveness, if I could say, is that one day I get to say I was a strict dad, but I was a good dad. I was a loving dad. Mm-hmm. And because of that, we have successful children that are good human beings.
Yeah. I mean, when your kids are grown and doing well in life, those are bragging rights, right?
Yeah, because I know there's a lot of parents out there that are like, oh, my kid gets straight A's and blah, blah. And then they grow up and they're like freaking tweakers or drug dealers
or still
bums.
living at home doing nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but then,
waiting for mommy and daddy to do everything for them because they never taught them how to do things for themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, So, like, in a way, I feel in the way that my competitiveness was like, I wasn't the smartest kid. Yeah, I was a big clown. Yeah, I was. But I think I'm doing pretty good for my life. I got I got my wife. I got my kids. I have a nice, decent job. I have a nice house.
You have a house.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty healthy. We're pretty happy. Yeah, we have what we need, and we're fine. And that to me is better than, anything else. So at the end, I feel like, okay, I did better than most people expected.
Yeah.
That's my competitive.
I feel
I didn't fail like you wanted me to.
Sometimes, well, see, and that's your experience because you grew up in a family that you feel expected you to fail. Whereas for me, being the eldest, I feel like I don't have enough. Because like I have everything I need, but maybe it's the timeline. You know what I mean? Like at our age, I don't know, because I'm the eldest and I see my brothers who have everything I didn't have at that age that they are all at. I'm happy for them. I'm proud that they did it. But I think sometimes as the eldest, I feel like I missed out. I'm like, I dropped the ball. Not that I failed, but I dropped the ball.
Part, then.
It's not competition because I don't feel like I need to make it better. I'm not going to go out and do something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I just
but you feel
like,
that they did better right now at their age than you were doing at that time.
Yeah.
So then that makes you feel like a failure.
And not like a failure, just like I dropped the ball.
Yeah, that's being a failure. You dropped the ball. I failed at something.
I failed at something.
Your job was to catch the ball and get something done with the ball. You didn't catch the ball. You failed at catching it. So that's your thing.
Yeah.
Right? So, and that's how you see it. So from my point of view of seeing it, like in your situation, how you're seeing it, I was like, your brother's at your age. Well, you were already married to me. We already had kids.
We already had kids, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, my brothers don't have kids.
So we were adulting. Well, we were doing life. Right?
Two of the three don't have kids. Yeah. We were adulting with children.
Yeah, yes. But like okay, so let's say your next brother. He has a daughter. Mm-hmm. Right? And he had her she's a week older than our baby.
Yeah.
So we were getting done having kids when he's just
starting. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So already
it's a way different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, behind us on that aspect. So we have different experiences and different points of views, and we already lived through certain things with our kids, right?
Yeah.
So is it really a loss, though? Is it really not having it together?
No, I just say that I wish sometimes that I had not dropped the ball like with my work or with my
Oh,
education.
babe, I'm sorry I ruined your life.
You didn't ruin my life.
Well, it's my fault.
No, because I'm the one.
Well, having my kids is what held you back to doing all
No.
those things that your brothers got to do at your age. I was
No.
putting babies on you.
You were putting babies in me, and you still want to put more babies in me. Stop it.
No, I don't. Maybe one more. No, we're too old for that. Yeah, we're too old for that. It's a joke. But still.
I don't know how to explain it. I know it sounds like I feel like I failed. It's just sometimes I wish that I had done certain things a little differently. Like I wish I had joined the track team back when I was in high school.
But that's the thing,
You
though.
know?
We're always gonna have that. I wish I would have done this different. I wish I would have done that different. I wish I would have. It's part of life,
Yeah.
It's
That's all I'm
just
saying.
being human.
But
yeah.
that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I didn't want kids or I didn't want to have kids. I'm not saying I don't want to be with you. I'm not saying I don't want this path to be what it is. Ultimately, there are certain things I feel like I dropped
Babe,
the
you're a
ball.
mother of 4 children. You're take care of your mom too. You're a great sister. You're there for them. You listen to them. You like to spend time with them. You're a great
I
daughter.
feel like I dropped the ball on
No,
them
you
too.
you chicken on your dad. You were a stepmom to 2 kids, and you love them unconditionally.
I
You've
felt
been
like I
there
dropped
for
the
them.
ball on that
no,
one,
no,
too.
no, you didn't. No, you didn't. And then you worked hard, and like I told you, you've helped me become the man that I am because I don't think I would be where I'm at. So
Without me
done
bitching
great.
and complaining.
Yeah. But then you were also supportive. You give me tough love when I need it. I mean, you're not loving and affectionate. That would make it perfect. But there are times when you're there. You give me the shoulder. You've been like, hey, it's okay. Like,
When you tell me that I'm not loving and affectionate, all I see in my head is like those housewives and like the little cute outfits. And they're like, hi, honey, I have your favorite meal for you. Here are your slippers. I missed you all day. That's what I see in my head. And
that does
that's
sound
definitely not who I am. I am.
no, that's not what I'm
that
talking about. I'm
person.
talking about like at moments that just randomly you give me a hug or a kiss or say, yeah, I love you, I missed you, or
That's what I see in my head when
yeah,
you say that.
which is fine. But you're not like you can sit across from the living room. You can go a whole day without texting me or calling me or more. You can, like it doesn't matter. Meanwhile, I'm the one that sends you texts. I'm like, hey, love you. Hey, hope you're having a good day. Hey, how you doing? I'm more like that. And that's why at moments I was like, oh, I'm kind of like the chicken. You're the dude, right?
That's what we say.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure that like if anybody's listening to them, and I'm sorry, guys, if I get you in trouble. Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of women that would be like, man, I wish my husband would text me or call me on his lunch just to say, love you, have a good one. How you doing? How's it going with the kids?
Yeah, but what's the complaint whenever you call me? That we can't talk, right? Because I'm yelling at someone,
Well, there are times, yeah.
someone.
Exactly like you're being a mom, right? So, but it's funny because you're like, oh no, nothing. We were here, we were quiet, and it's just watching TV. But then, oh, that's on the phone. Let's be loud and run around and start asking for stuff nonstop.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. They do it.
Right. So
the moment they see me and I'm not even on the phone that often. I'm literally only on the phone with you or my brothers. All of a sudden, they're loud.
like so at times, right, randomly, whenever it happens, and you come up and like you're sweet or you give me a hug.
Yeah, if I try to give you a hug or a kiss,
something, what's my reaction?
You're like, what do you want? How much is it going to cost me? That's what you say.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Because it's rare. I was like, well, what?
And whenever I also do those things, what happens with the kids? Oh, more. Smoochy, 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 smoochy. Or they come and they sit on us or they get between us. Screw it. I'm not even going to try.
Yeah. Well.
It's true though, right? That's what happens. And then what do? Oh, my babies. And you give them hugs and kisses. It's like, I didn't matter. Okay. So my hug and kiss didn't matter. So the girls mattered more. Yeah.
Your dad never did that to you?
My mom and my dad were super affectionate. Like, if you saw my parents when we were kids.
But, like, you were affectionate with you too, right?
Yeah, he was affectionate with us. Yeah.
So
but he and my mom were super affectionate. Like, if you saw them and the way they were when my brother and I were kids, you would not think that they would have gotten a divorce.
All right. So then, by that rule, right? So because that's your example, I didn't have that.
Yeah.
I didn't have that. Even seeing my dad with my stepmom, he wasn't loving and affectionate like that, right? Like, first of all, I kind of wouldn't see him because I was already asleep usually when he came home. Mm-hmm. But even with my mom, it wasn't. I didn't get to see that, and if I did, I don't remember it. So, what is my thing, right? What is the one thing that I say is like, I don't want to be like that. I want to be what I didn't have, right? So loving father, loving husband, there, family time. That's the stuff that I wish I would have had and I would have seen and I would have felt. So, of course, I'm trying to do it in my family, in my house. Mm-hmm. So, don't make fun of me for it.
I'm not making fun of you. I'm just saying that, yeah, I'm not that affectionate. But, like, when the girls come, if I try to give you affection, automatically you assume I want something.
The baby's always more
and
like,
the kids.
That's more like it.
Yeah, she
like
always
we've
said
been
that.
fighting. I was like, well, what do you mean that's more like it? They usually say that when we'll fight. It's like,
yeah, and then the kids will get between us, or yeah, they say that, oh, that's more like it, or do it again, or they'll go, I want one too, and then they'll come and get between us. And
they usually want the sandwich kiss.
They want sandwich kisses. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Except for the oldest now.
Not anymore. He's too cool for sandwich kisses.
Too cool. Too cool.
Too cool for sandwich.
But you know what's funny about him? Like, if I try to forcefully hug him and give him a kiss, how does he act?
He'll hug you.
Yeah, he likes it.
But not if mom does it.
He likes it. He's just pretending. I can tell that punk.
I try to tickle him in the car. He's like, karate chops my arms. Like, don't tickle me.
Even the 23-year-old was here the other day, and she was just walking around being whatever, and I just like come behind and I just give her a big old hug. I was like, start kissing her head, and she's just like, I can tell she's like, oh, like, you know, like I can tell she liked it. You know?
Well, they love kids love getting affection from their parents. I think no matter what age. Even my brothers too. Like if my mom offers them like a back scratch or a back rub, they're like, "Ooh," and they like get all.
So yeah, I noticed for your family is always a back scratch.
Yes.
You know, like
my family, yes, offer my brothers a back scratch and you will win them over.
I'm not scratching a man's back unless it's my son's. So
I scratch my brother's back. I'll do it. I'll just go to my brothers and I'll scratch their backs real fast and they're like bears. It's just how we show affection. We scratch each other's backs.
That's cool.
I mean, our kids love it, right? Getting their back scratched.
I do too now. I was like, this time I was like, hey, can you scratch my back? Yeah, actually feels good.
Mm-hmm. So, with all that energy around your spine.
Right, and it wakes you up too. Relaxes you.
And puts me to sleep. Back scratches put me to sleep.
All right, well, I think we're good.
I
think we're good, yeah.
Didn't talk too much about anything in particular.
No, well, right. I mean, yeah, we did. We talked about the vaccines and going to school.
Yeah. I might change my mind.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. And we'll talk about it. We'll let people know what happens, where we're at. And then we'll fill out more stuff.
Yeah, because ultimately, if she doesn't even get those 4 vaccines by the time school starts, she can't even start that homeschool program. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to have to find something else anyways.
My week, I'll wrap it up really quick.
Oh, yes.
Since nobody asked me about how I feel.
Sorry, how was your week?
No, my week was... I felt weird. It was a weird week.
You said that.
Yeah, I just feel off.
You said that in the beginning, that it just felt
I feel off. I feel off. Something's wrong. Something's off. I don't know what it is.
Maybe you need to reach out to people and check in on people.
Yeah, maybe. It's just something feels off. Something's not right. I haven't been quite myself. I've been a little off lately. Something doesn't feel right. It went a little fast. I feel a little disconnected.
We thought the kids and I were complaining that the week went by too slow.
At moments it felt slow, but at other moments, I don't know. I mean, I'm glad I finally got to be home today. Yeah. Do a little work and,
you were home
be with
Monday.
family. And that even felt rushed, you know? I don't mind being here those days that you work all day because I help you out a little bit with the kids. So that's good. I get to see them and do some little things, you know? But I don't know if that's threw off my week or something, but work just feels weird. Something's off. I don't know. I feel like maybe I need to do some changes on some stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm having something's off. maybe, like you said, maybe I need to reach out to some people and find out some
We'll
news.
figure it out. We always do. All right.
Well, yeah, that's it.
We'll have a good rest of your week.
Yeah, thank you for joining us once again. As always, we appreciate your support and love. And
find us on Instagram until they sleep, and via
Share
email until they sleep at gmail.com.
And until next time.
Bye.
Bye.